Hi guys, Lone Gamer UK back for some more Assassin's Creed. In the guide series, this is part 6. Now, I did 5 episodes of guides when the game came out about the UI, about the skills, some of the packs and DLC you could get, and photo mode. Been a while since I've done a guides one anyway, but we've got a new DLC, a free DLC that is part of the game now called the Discovery Tour. So I thought we'd have a quick look at this, give it a quick review, and discuss what the Discovery Tour is. Now, I think this is a cracking idea. I'll tell you why later in the video. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So if we go to the menu in Discovery Tour, first of all, you'll see that the map has got all these places of interest which you can fast travel to. And so these are a bit like a museum guide. You can travel to the location in the game, which is set on real buildings and places in Egypt, and you can learn about the real history. They're done very well, nice interactive. A couple of things: you can change your character to any of the characters in the game. Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, etc. You have a passport so you can track what you've done, what you haven't done. There's a timeline that talks about the different eras, because don't forget, in this game it was set back in Cleopatra's time, over 2,000 years ago. However, there was another sort of 2,500 years of Egyptian history before that time. So yes, so you've got the timelines, characters, all the tours are listed. And you can go to them by just wandering around, or you could fast travel to them and do it methodically. It's up to you. Anyway, let's go through one of these tours so you get the general idea.
Welcome to Alexandria, planning of the city.
So you just travel to the points on the map.
Alexander's plan to build his great city began with a verse from Homer's Odyssey. There is, in front of Egypt, in the sea with many swells, an island called Pharos. Guided by these clues, Alexander the Great founded his future city at the western end of the Nile Delta. Three things are necessary when exploring Egypt: water, a good camera, and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere. Though Alexander considered this location ideal for his great city, it presented considerable challenges. Too difficult to access during storms, the surrounding swamps threatened disease, and the limestone soil prevented the growth of healthy crops. However, due to the influence of his mentor Aristotle, Alexander the Great recognized that the true value was its strategic emplacement. Alexander knew that in controlling Pelusium to the east, Memphis to the south, and his crowning glory Alexandria to the west, he would create a triangular stronghold, allowing him to control the entire delta while giving him access to the Mediterranean.
So you can bring up these little interactive maps and descriptions as you're listening to them, or just look in game, it's up to you.
The Great Walls of Alexandria had a humble beginning. Lacking chalk to outline the future city's foundations, architects were forced to use flour instead. Clouds of migrating birds swept down and ate the flour, erasing the plans. This prompted Alexander to seek guidance from the oracles, who reassured him that his future city was destined to feed a large population.
Birds were eating the flour. These are nice little short guys.
Excavations led by Mahmud Bey el-Falaki in the 19th century revealed that the wall enclosure measured approximately 5.2 kilometers in length.
Three things are necessary when exploring Egypt: water, a good camera, and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere.
Excuse me, love, we're just in the middle of the description there. I don't know why it did that. do that again. He interrupted the...
Excavations led by Mahmoud Bey al-Falaki in the 19th century revealed that the wall enclosure measured approximately 5.2 kilometers in length and 2.2 kilometers in width. It was roughly 9 meters in height.
That's a big wall, isn't it? 5.2 kilometers in length, 2.2 in width, roughly 9 meters high.
These formidable ancient walls would resist a number of attacks, including fending off the king of Syria in 169 BCE. It wasn't until 295 CE that they eventually fell to Roman Emperor Diocletian, and this only after 8 months of relentless assault.
Nice little drawing there with the monoliths, part of the wall in the background. With the ships in the background and the guy, that kind of looks like it's a drawing from sort of Napoleon times. They invaded Egypt.
My kingdom for a glass of water. Alexandria's principal architect, Dinocrates, chose a Hippodamian grid plan. The grid maximized functionality, with wide, straight roads and canals running beneath them. Alexander recognized the military value of the city's design. The wide, parallel streets gave him optimal surveillance of the city, while allowing the unobstructed flow of troops.
Interesting. Nice, nice diagram there. Lots of nice wide open streets in Alexandria. It's one of my, probably is the favourite place of in the game to visit, I think, with its size.
A central corridor ran from the Mediterranean's north port down to Lake Mareotis to the south. This thoroughfare acted as an unobstructed link for commercial trade and travel between the two ports. Many of the streets were bordered with grand buildings and parks, including Canopic Street, with its impressive gate bordering the eastern end.
Very interesting. This is the last one here.
Alexandria was most likely built upon an already existing Egyptian village. Upon its completion, the Egyptians reviled the city, refusing to call it by its founder's name. Instead, they called it Raked, the building, as a mark of disdain, which was later Hellenized into Rakotis. Despite this, the name Alexandria would remain. It's not the heat that gets you. Well, it might, if the miles and miles of endless barren desert without water don't first.
So yeah, you can change your characters. I've hardly touched this, I've just gone to 1 or 2, so you could fast travel. So for example, you could go to Memphis, and there's 4 little introduction videos on the city. So in the Egypt section here are basically the regions, the different regions you visit in the game, and some information about them. Then we've got stuff on all the pyramids, quite a lot on Alexandria. We've only done one, which is a very interesting city to learn about. But you know, the Greek pharaohs, Introduction to Alexandra. City celebration. Daily life, so this is all about things like how they mummification and building Egypt, amulets and rituals, you name it, it's all there. Cyrus and the first mummy, and a little bit about the Romans. So this is just an early look at the Discovery Tour. If you've got this game, I hope you're enjoying the Discovery Tour. I think this is great. I think if they did this for most of the Assassin's Creeds going forward, it will be a welcome addition. They're always set in an interesting time of history, as far as I'm concerned. You get to play a game, have fun, and you can learn a bit. So if you're a novice, you can learn a lot. If you're an expert, you're just going to enjoy the detail and the linkage between some real history and the fantasy computer game. And yeah, it's great. So I'm really pleased that Ubisoft have done this, and it's great. You know, I think it'd be interesting to see if they would go back and do some DLC for the London and Paris games. You know, they've done before, but I think if they do more of these going forward, that will be setting a good precedent. And it's free, so great. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, please leave a like or a comment. And don't forget, if you want to follow my channel, follow any of my videos, get notifications, please hit that subscribe button. I do need the views, I do need the subscribers. It's a fairly new channel. I'd like to do more of this and provide more content. Don't forget, if you want to be a patron, I have my Patreon page where you can join me on Discord and chat to me daily through there, talk about the games that we're going to be playing, past and present. Anyway, guys, I love you and leave you. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good day, and see you next time. Take care. Bye.